Until time. Damn it. One to grow on. Doodle-doodle-doo-doo-doo. Ah. Well, welcome back, my friends, to another rousing rendition of Choir Boys Outdoors. Listen, this is the pirate knife designed by Carnivora, made by Shani at Shade, Indonesia. Let me tell you a little story. On January 18th of 1671, Captain Henry Morgan led a band of privateers across the Isthmus of Panama to attack Panama City. Now, it was a 10-day trek where starvation almost derailed the whole thing. The chronicler said as the privateers came out of the forest, the Spanish garrison had already been alerted to their coming, but it said they looked like cannibals, savages. They had found a herd of cows, and after not eating for 10 days, they fell upon them, slaughtered them, and ate them before they were cooked, so they had a lot of blood running down their face. They just looked like wild-eyed pirates. But when they started the trek, they were privateers. But unbeknownst to them, Spain and England had made peace, and that made them pirates, and that's a story for another day. Here's the deal. Captain Morgan took Panama, right? But he had to march across the Isthmus of Panama. There was no Panama Canal. And he had to slash and cut their way through the jungle. So I thought, what better way to demonstrate this badass knife than to go out in the swamp of Florida and basically mimic it. Now, let me also say this. If you see the picture in the thumbnail or the video, whatever the hell you call it, on the front page of me doing my Captain Morgan pose, right after that, I damn near killed myself because I tripped over that log and hit so hard I thought I broke my ass. But that's a story for another day. Listen. Before we get too far into this thing, there was a time in this country where 22 veterans a day took their own lives. Now, stats are everywhere. We mention that a lot, and it's important to mention that a lot. That's why we focus on the number 0. Anything over 0 is simply unacceptable. And that's all that means is, man, we love you and you have a place here. You're welcome here. We're back to blue over here. We support Leo. Not everybody does. I understand it, but I do. How do you do that, Scab? Well, we don't break the damn law. And finally, if you are an addict, never quit quitting. So, this is the pirate knife. I always say by Shade because Shani made it, but it's honestly sold through Carnivora. Now, I had someone ask me about Shade Indonesia the other day. Here's the deal. I'll put my name on anything Shani does. He is one hell of a maker. He's a hell of a designer. He makes some badass stuff. He also makes some very, very durable stuff. If I would have put this in Captain Morgan's hands, he would have been right at home with it. Now, here's the deal. We're going to do all kind of crazy stuff. You see us stabbing the tire up front. If you're going to be a pirate or a privateer, buccaneer, you got to be able to stab. That's part of the game. Always remember on those tires, a lot of those are the 10-ply trailer tires. The knife did a phenomenal job. Phenomenal job. And let me address the elephant in the room, and I know it's going to get brought up. This is a D-guard style, and it's got that little bar in the middle of the handle. Now, does it bother me? No. However, not everybody's going to like that. But let me say this. My druthers would have a D-guard without that bar, but that's a personal preference. It doesn't hurt the performance, in my opinion. I simply prefer my D-guard to be open for maneuverability. That's it, being able to move my hand. Comfort-wise, it's fine. The beautiful thing, too, about Carnivora and Shade is they are a partial production, partial custom. So if you don't want that, you could specify that and it not be there. Having said that, I wanted to get that out of the way because this is one badass pirate blade, buoy, whatever you want to call it. All right? You can make some, I wanted to make some stockade posts there, no problem. And look at the bites we're getting. Really not even coming out of my shoes to swing it. I wanted to clear a path through the swamp. I wanted to cut some stuff in the swamp. I wanted to build some stockade posts. No problem. This blade would get it done. We cut vines. I wanted to kind of mimic that crossing the isthmus, except I wasn't going to eat shoe leather and spend 10 days doing it. I don't need to do all that to show you the damn thing works. Let me give you some specs on it. Shaney has a hellacious heat treat on that 5160. Now, this is just a piece of hardwood that we're going to do some flat slaps on, just to kind of beat up the edge a little bit, see if we could get any chipping, get any rolling, get anything like that. I've only ever had one blade of Shaney's to partially chip, and it was minuscule, and that's because I hit a concrete blade, slab with the blade on accident. Other than that, the damn thing is held up insanely well. They come razor sharp. Now, I didn't want to, a lot of times I'll open it up, cutting paper and doing all that shit. Here's the deal. I've done 1,000 videos and shorts with this thing, slicing phone book paper. It comes sharp. Everything Shaney does comes very, very sharp. Now, let me give you some quick specs. 5160, one of my favorite blade steels, right? Now, I've got a thing of Carnivora blade paste that I've been trying out on my carbon blades. Works insanely well. I really, 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 really like that product. So I coat them up before I head out in the swamp. Now you're going to see us cut. You also know this, guys, before I give you specs. I am very, very selective at what I cut in the swamp. Like if I'm cutting those vines or if I'm cutting palmettos or things like that, those are things that grows millions and millions and millions, okay? The vines hurt the trees, and palmettos, we got a billion of them. So I don't cut oak, I don't do all that unless I found a tree that's fallen. And out in the swamp, to be honest with you, 2 or 3 fall at least a month. Good size and make for good cutting mediums. That's what I cut up earlier. The soil's so soft, the storm blows it over. So having said that, the overall length of this blade from tip to pommel, to the bottom of the pommel, is 19 5/8. The blade length is 13 1/8. The cutting edge is 13 inches. Now, I'm going to do a little sword fight, a little Errol Flynn right here. And when you realize something's dead and you ain't going to blow right through it, you feel like a dumbass, you want to sword fight it. This has a sharpened swedge. We're going to call it a secondary blade, but it is a sharpened swedge. A little scab out there, swinging away. It's 7 inches. That lends for a couple of things. If you are using this knife, if you are, and your primary edge is gone, if you're out and you need it for survival, that secondary edge, swedge, whatever you want to call it, that is sharp, is 7 inches. So that's ample for chopping, cutting, whatever you need to do. The handle length is 6.5 inches. Now, with the D-guard, the inner grip is 3 3/4 inches. Okay? So there is some limitation there. If you got it without the D-guard, it's 4 3/8, which would fit any hand in the United States. It has a pommel, and then it has a spike on the D-guard. And there I was looking at myself. You never know what you're going to get here at Choir Boys Outdoors. So here's the thing, guys. This thing is the size of a small machete, but it's built like a tank. Shaney does an amazing job. I love the heat treat. I love his edge with that 5160. He really, really, really has it dialed in. And here you can see, I believe, I'm not sure of the handles. Damn it. Well, I got them right here. It's got a wood look, so it might be rosewood. I might be wrong on that, but they look like solid wood handles. Very, very comfortable. You have two different points. Okay, right here, that's a piece of hardwood that I've had out there for a while, and you can tell. I just wanted to show you some more wearing on the edge. Tried to do some things, some stabbing, slashing through the swamp, doing this. And then on the D-guard, there is a point, I guess that's what we're going to call it, that would knock your running lights out. And then the pommel is actually skull cracker, whatever you want to call it, for walnuts or whatever. You got that. You have a large choil. You have some jimping on the blade. Now right here we're going to do some hard wax. Move you around there. Now, there's no hot spots right here, just so y'all know. Of course, I probably should have cleared that wood off. No hot spots on the handle that I'm feeling. No rubbing, nothing like that. I get asked a lot about those bars. Guys, they don't really bother my hand. It really doesn't, but I could understand not wanting it there. Here's that point I was telling you about. Some solid punches again. No hot spots. Plenty of room there. Some pretty good punches right there. That'd wreck your day, I promise you that. Overall, I absolutely adore this blade. I really, truly do. It's built well, it's sharp, and the more I use it, the more fun it is. It's just a fun blade. Now, we did a lot of stabbing up front. I wanted to come here and do some John Peters stab tests. You can see that thing wedges into that. That's a solid red oak stump from West Virginia. This is a stabber's delight. I'm telling you right now, with that sharpened swedge and the razor sharp edge, it's got some pure penetrating power right there, son. Now, we're going to do some regular cutting here. We got about a minute and a half left. Overall, super impressed with this blade. Very easy to use. I swung it a bunch, didn't get winded, didn't get tired. It hits insanely hard, but it's very well done. This isn't a sharpened pry bar. This is truly a cutting instrument, a slashing instrument, a stabbing instrument. It just works well. Now, if you're a pirate, you got to cut some rope. You know what I'm saying? So here's some rope. We're going to cut it. Did very well. Now, I did this sequence in order. I started off with the stabbing yesterday. I stabbed the tire yesterday, or I'm sorry, the day before. I started off with the stabbing on Friday. And then I ran the rest of the video yesterday and was in the swamp. So everything is sequential. So what you're seeing now is cutting these mediums after. We're going to do a quick chop here. Blip, no problem. I'm cutting all this after all the chopping. A little ninja move there, a little ninja pirate move there. So overall, this blade's a joy. It comes with a leather sheath, rides well. You can see how it's riding on my hip there. I enjoy it. The damn thing is just sharp. And you see that choil. Every blade with Carnivora has a couple of different purposes. You'll never have just a designated chopper. This is a weapon. There's no need in acting like it's not. Oh, look at that. And there the old scabber illustrates it. Overall, I love the damn thing. The edge stayed true. You can see here in a minute it just does some slicing. Listen, big, huge announcement, guys. April 26th, 8:30 p.m. We're going to have Ernie Emerson on the channel. Be here for that. Love Ernie. Can't wait. Join us there. It just popped up today, so make sure you join us. Having said that, I'm Scab. You're not, and I'm gone, son. Arr.